Hello YouTube, this is Grand Admiral Sledge. Today we are going to do the indoor escalation bonus round. Now, some background on this. I have never, as you can see, completed the tier 1 round of this. I never needed to. I opened quite a few chromium packs early on in the game and had a 7-star wicket ready the day that they opened this up. So we are not going to bother with tier 1. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to leave that one to you to finish up. The bonus tier, I use my Rancor solo team, which is going to be Jedi Training Ray in the lead with R2, BB-8, Resistance Trooper, and Commander Luke. Not going to go over all the speeds. Obviously, you want these guys as fast as possible. R2 is my fastest at 249. So we'll get started here. Now, the first battle, there are 5 rounds in this. The first one is the AT-ST and 2 of these scouts. Now, the scout troopers need to be managed right away, because if you do not take care of them, they are going to give an incredible amount of turn meter to the AT-ST, and you're going to have a really hard time managing it to start off with. The AT-ST is sort of a boss and sort of not. It is not immune, at least in the first couple rounds that you see it, not immune to turn meter reduction or most debuffs. So as you can see, I can daze it, I can remove turn meter, and having done that now with Jedi Ray, which is how you really want to start that out, the scouts are not going to be able to grant a turn meter, but regardless, we want to get them out of the way as quickly as possible. So now that we've got daze on the AT-ST, we're going to take care of these scout troopers. In this round, you always, when you do raise Defiant Smash, you always want to call Resistance Trooper in. Unless you have BB-8's assist Zeta, then obviously you use him. I use Resistance Trooper just because I can get the extra chance for the expose and grant turn meter to everyone else. One other note on there, we are going to, at least until the very last round, be using Resistance Trooper's special rather than his basic to get us our exposes, unless there are no exposes on the board, in which case we're going to go with his basic just to get a better guarantee of getting exposes out. Once you have exposes on the boss, we are always going to use our specials just to get turn meter removal. And as long as that exposes out there, we're going to continue to spam specials as long as we can. And there, got some turn meter removal, got some speed down. Now we are going to have an easy time with this. One thing about the AT-ST, the health bar does not move down the way most bosses do. It's actually very deceiving the way it runs down. So you're not going to see it actually moving percentage-wise close to the bottom, at least until the very last round. It's a somewhat confusing there. I tend to want to save Luke's use the Force just in case I ever lose control of turn meter there. You're making a little bit slower and losing some damage on it, but I would rather keep that in my back pocket and have that ready in case there's ever an emergency. So we're just going to use Luke's basic unless we get into trouble here. As you can see, we're doing quite a bit of damage to this thing. It does have a decent amount of health. I do not know exactly how much, but it's definitely probably at least around 1 million for the first round here. So we're going to just run this through as quickly as possible. One other note, if you lose control of turn meter on this thing, it's really going to be difficult to gain it again. One of the things that this AT-ST does, if it manages to attack, is stagger. And especially if the scouts are still up, you're going to have all kinds of problems with it, you know, inflicting stagger on your team, and then the scouts removing turn meter just over and over again. Okay, so round 1 done. Round 2 is just 3 of these scouts. Now you notice in the background here, the ATST is there. It does have turn meter. It's kind of like the Top Gun for Phase 3 of HAAT, and so it does not have turn meter removal allowed on it, and it will do a mass attack on your team, and it will do massive damage if you have somebody that is not buffed. So we always want to make sure everybody's got their buffs up at that point. In this case, I will use Luke's use the force just because we want to get these guys out of here quickly. And we do want to spread these buffs around just in case that that gun gets turn meter, which it probably will in this case. I did a test run of this before I did the video, and I was able to prevent that from happening, but hey, we won. Alright, so I didn't get to show you the Top Gun on this one. I will probably not be able to do the same thing in round 4. So round 3, we got the ATST back again. This is basically an identical round to the first one, so all the same there. We're going to make sure we get... Actually, we're not going to use stealth right now. There's no exposures, no need to use it. We're going to get these guys out of the way so they don't feed turn meter to the ATST. We really need to get him speed down. And there you can see the stagger inflicted. We lost a little bit of control of our turn meter there, so that's why we had so many issues. Let's go ahead and get that scat out of the way. Alright. Let's see if we can gain control here again. And alright, Illuminated Destiny is going to solve a lot of our problems. And we are back to doing the exact same thing we did in round 1. Spam our specials as long as you have expose up. I'm going to keep on saving use the force, and when no exposes are up, we will just do our best to get those landed, especially using the basic from Resistance Trooper. Once you lose control of turn meter on that ATST, it is very, very difficult to win the match, because it will feed itself turn meter, the scouts will feed it turn meter, and you're going to be in big trouble trying to manage everything from there on out. And again, this thing has a lot of health. It is not going to show you health reduction in the health bar the way you would normally see it. And I always leave Luke exposed when I do R2 smokescreen, not for any particular reason other than he's the easiest one to recover health and protection. And the second round should be reasonably quick. There we go. Alright, so round 4 is basically the same as round 3, except you have a couple more of these troopers. They are stormtroopers here. So we probably will get to see the Top Gun go off, so we're going to want to get those specials spread around before that happens. And just make sure you keep buffs on everybody so you don't lose any important players before we get into round 5, which is definitely the hardest round of all of them. All right, I might not even get to show you the Top Gun going off here. Nope. Okay, so we are going into round 5, and this is the hardest one because in round 5 there is no turn meter reduction of the ATST. So you really have to start doing high damage and do it quickly, because this thing is going to be a monster. So we're going to ramp up our damage here, get the scout troopers out of the way as usual, try and at least slow them down, give them days so they can't throw them turn meter, but there will be no turn meter reduction of the ATST, so that is what we're going to have to deal with him. Let's try and give everybody some turn meter. Nope. first one out of the way, and it is now just going to be a long battle here trying to get all of his health down before he knocks us out. As you can see, he throws a lot of debuffs. He can dispel you. It is a much tougher battle in phase 5 than it is for the first two against the ATST. There's no really reason to use smoke screen here because, again, we can't reduce turn meter, and it does AoEs for the most part, so that's not going to affect anything. We are really just trying to do as much damage as quickly as possible before this thing goes ape on us. And you notice I'm not using specials from Resistance Trooper anymore. There's really no reason to do so, again, because it's not going to give us any turn meter reduction. And you see it's throwing the stagger around. If you don't have a solid team that can dispel those staggers quickly, it is going to really hurt your team overall. Keep in mind also, this is my Rancor solo team. I do the Rancor on auto with this. I could probably auto the first 4 rounds of it, but not this final round, again, because there is no turn meter reduction. You want to manage this a little better. And this has tons and tons and tons of health. This will take a while. This one actually does show the health reduction, so you'll be able to see it. It moves very, very slowly. So we actually moved it into the red. And you might notice that our explosives are doing 800 damage apiece, so they're not helping a ton, but whatever help you can get on this thing to speed it up and reduce the amount of turns it's going to get is going to help out. This doesn't have enrage or anything like that, like a raid boss, but it does have a main gun attack that can do 40 to 50,000 a shot. So some of your weaker tunes, for instance, for my BB-8, which is only 50,000 and change, are going to have a hard time if you're going through here and take a shot from that top or that main gun. We are almost down here. A few more hits and this guy's going to be dead. So this is the 3rd round that the ATST was able to take, and there he goes. So that's my walkthrough for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, got anything out of it, please like and subscribe, and I will do my best to share some more as we get new events coming through. I got 2 Zetas out of this one. So far, I have not gotten anything more than 2. You can technically get up to 4, but you can also get 7 Garbantes on a Thursday. You know how well that goes. This is Grand Admiral Sledge signing out. Thank you very much.